whenever we talk about mathematics, there are a number of different theorems, theories, and formulas that are, shall we say, just pretty well known. You know, the quadratic formula is one. Maybe a sine, cosine. Well, that's not really a formula. Or how about you got the? I'm thinking of the. I can't think of the word. Slope. The slope formula: y equals mx plus b. We all know that. Well, there's another theorem or another formula that is very common. It's mainly it is for right triangles. It is the way to measure right triangles, and it's a real basic theorem that we've actually talked about a little bit, sort of, when talking about the distance formula, and that is the Pythagorean theorem. And it's just nice to have a quick reminder of what that is. The Pythagorean theorem. A couple thousand years ago, a guy named Pythagoras wrote it down, and we've been learning about it ever since. Pythagorean theorem. What is that? It's pretty simple. It's just something that we love it when we can use it. We use it maybe once out of 100 questions, but it's still fun to use. It's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. How much easier can that be, right? If you have a right triangle, then this is the way it works. If you have a right triangle, and let's say you have a triangle like this. This is your right triangle, okay? And let's just say we want to give it some size to it. Let's say we're going to call it 3 and 4. Now, I know what the answer is already. There's already certain types of angles that are automatic answer, but just go with me for a minute. 3 and 4, side A, side B, and side C. Side A is got a measurement of 3 meters, lengths, feet, whatever you want to call it. And there's 4 for the other. B is 4. So what do? Well, you're trying to find C, right? Well, this is how you find it. You have a squared. A squared is 3. Get 3 squared. And it's 4. It's 4 squared. That's going to be 4 squared. And it's going to equal C squared. So we already got a squared is 3 squared. B squared is 4 squared. And C squared is what you're going to get, right? So 3 times 3 is 9. Plus 4 times 4 is 16. That gives you 25. 9 plus 16 gives you 25. What is your answer then? It's going to be the square root of 25 is what C is equal to. C is equal to square root of 25, which in this case is 5. All right? That means that this side C has a length of 5. Now, that can also be used the other way around. And maybe we can make it just a tad bit more complicated. Just a little tiny bit more involved. Let's say we know that this is 8, this is 6, and we don't know what A is. So A is unknown, B is already known, and C is unknown. So you got A is, and it's probably end up some oddball number, so just go along with it. You got A is this, B is 6, and C is 8, right? So let's go ahead and pretend we got A squared plus B is going to be B squared, 6 squared equals 8 squared. That's what we're coming up with, right? What we got is a number. We got A squared is going to be A squared is going to be equal to B squared. 6 times 6 plus 6 times 6 is 36. And then 8 times 8 is 64, right? A squared plus 36 equals 64, all right? So what do you come up with next? You subtract. You subtract 36 from both sides. What do you get? 36 from both sides, what do you get? 36, 64 minus 36 is 28. So you got 28 is equal to A squared. And what did I tell you? It's, of course, going to be harder than we need it to be, right? Because I made up the numbers. So what do you got here? A squared equals 28, or A is the square root of 28, whatever that might be. So there you got it. That's how you're finding the side with the Pythagorean theorem. Pretty cool, right? It's some good old-fashioned old algebra that's just nice once in a while to pull out, dust off, and try a couple problems with. You might have had a lot of trouble with this when you were in school, didn't you? Well, now maybe you know it a little better. We hope then now maybe you understand it a little better. And if it's just a reminder, fantastic. Anyway, hope you're having a good day. Thanks for joining me. You're awesome. You know that? Talk to you soon.